and welcome back to That One Video Galaxy podcast. I'm Jirard.
I am the Brett.
And I'm Ted.
Great, Ted. Great to have you. How are you feeling, Ted?
Dandy.
Brett, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, but I'm looking at you. I feel like I had teachers back in the day who would look at you and be like, "Why are your arms crossed? What are you trying to hide, or what are you mad about?" Yeah,
what
you.
Am I? Oh no, I'm
not accusing you of that, but you came in here looking like, what's wrong with you, motherfuckers?
What's wrong? Be happy, bitches. No,
I'm fine. I'm ready to rock.
I'm good. Admittedly, I sat down on this couch this morning and
This couch?
Because we were setting things up and Teb's doing his thing, and this jacket is so freaking comfortable. It's just put me in a very sleepy state.
Take the jacket off, Jirard.
I think I need to.
Take the jacket off.
Can you fold your arms again? So I think I was in Italy, and I was sitting like Jirard.
Yeah.
And this random dude comes up to me in the street, and he just talks to me. And he was like, "If you always fold your arms like that, nothing will ever happen to you."
No, he doesn't touch you. Does he really?
Yeah.
What a
What?
weird.
I
What a
think
weirdo.
So, yeah.
Italian viewers, is this a true thing? Is this like a thing that you do in Italy? You just walk around and tell people, "Yo, cut that shit out"?
I have a theory.
It was like an older gentleman.
Nah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Okay.
The older you get, the less fuck you give. Period. In life. In life, because you know it's almost over. So you're like, oh shit, all the shit I should have done, I better start doing it. So he sounds like he was old enough to be like, I realize you could punch me or something, or kill me, but I'm gonna touch you anyway. And that's what he did. That sounds like something an old person would do.
And it stuck with me for like since then.
Quick plug. The special edition of the Big Bad Bosses CD is out now.
Tight. What's special about it?
This is the second one, right?
This is the second run. It comes with 2 discs.
Ooh.
2 discs. One is the actual CD, which we released last year.
All new songs.
No, the same songs.
Oh.
No new songs.
With different words.
No, same words, Ted.
Oh.
And this one right here is a karaoke track. So
all instrumentals?
All instrumentals, and you got a little book that has art and lyrics for all the songs.
That's actually pretty
my
badass.
favorite
Yeah,
part.
and I'm not going to show the code, but there is a digital code as well for a digital code for the album, so you can have a digital copy and a physical copy.
It's a good deal.
And yeah, it's I believe it's I don't think it's on the site right now. Actually, I think they're back up for pre-order, but. Yeah, this is available, and if not, the other one is too.
That's
so
a tight plug.
If you like Big Bad Bosses, check it out. I just had to plug it because I was so happy that they're finally here. And look, they have a SKU on the back, a SKU, so they can sell one day in an actual store.
That's pretty cool.
In case Amazon or someone's like, "Yo, we want to sell it in an actual store."
I was going to ask you about that.
Get the fuck out of here, Ted.
Ted, you're done. Bye, Ted.
Are you
Everyone
awake
say
now
bye to
that your
Ted.
jacket is off? You're good?
I'm good. I'm good to go.
Great.
Thank you, Ted. Today we're going to talk about innovation.
Innovation.
Ted, you're editing the podcast today, so we're going to make your life a living hell. Ted, for everyone at home, please write out the word innovation on screen with the definition underneath it, in case someone didn't know that.
Oh.
Okay?
But yeah,
Everyone at home?
Everyone at home, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they had no idea.
we're basically, or essentially rather, talking about innovation in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Specifically talking about where would we personally like to see things go?
Yeah.
How would we like to see the gaming industry innovated upon?
Yeah.
And I've got some opinions.
I want to hear them opinions, and then I'll get an opinion out of your opinion.
Okay.
And then Ted will make an awkward statement about our opinions. We'll both laugh at him, as we always do.
Well, shit. That's the podcast.
See,
Why
Ted-
do we even need to do anything
That
now?
like depressingly boiled down everything.
It's only
And
depressing,
then
Ted,
I'll
because,
just
hey, it's
do
okay.
the same thing we always do
It's
every
okay,
time.
Ted.
It's just the
Oh,
same
there he
way.
goes.
Wow. All right, Ted's
And
dead.
he's gone. Bye-bye,
And
everybody.
Bye, Ted. You want to go first, Brett?
Well, I don't know. I don't even...
You suggested this topic, and it was good, but I want you.
Yeah, but I'm not saying like it should be like a 1, 2, 3, and we're done.
One,
like
2, 3.
I'm just talking about open forum discussion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way it should be.
Absolutely.
I am very impressed with the way that video games are going in a lot of ways. Other ways, I'm like, not so impressed.
Sure.
But obviously, when people think of innovation in gaming nowadays, they probably think of virtual reality,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. It's something that's been thought of for ages, but
Is it bad that when I think of virtual reality, I think of VR troopers
no,
every time?
they had a dog as a leader.
Sometimes everyone's like VR. I'm like, we are VR troopers.
That was a show that,
virtual reality.
but I was very much into Power Rangers when I was like 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
And, jumping on that bandwagon, they put VR Troopers right after the motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I think VR Troopers, after a certain point, got moved into syndication in the early mornings. And I remember waking up. This is when I lived in Kansas City, Kansas. So it was just me and my mom.
Oh, you're from Kansas City?
No, but I lived there for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
My mom's job moved us out there.
Oh, wow.
And
then you moved back, obviously.
Mm-hmm. So I remember waking up for school, and my mom would be like, because she knows I like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I remember waking up for school, and she'd be like, "Oh, I could put VR Troopers on for you while you get ready. You want that?" And I remember being like, "I'm okay." That is my memory of VR Troopers.
I'm fine, Mom.
I'm all right.
You became
Nah,
Kevin
hard pass.
Costner and Man of Steel. Just.
No. I'm okay. I think she liked VR Troopers more than I did. But I think she did. She was like, "Oh, this is cool." And I'm like, "Nah, ma." Virtual reality, like, has been thought of for years. It's a concept. People are like, "What if we did this?"
Yeah.
And we're slowly but surely, I think, getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's so many other ways that one can innovate on video games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am something that's been more popular lately is escape rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I love escape rooms. I've been doing them for the past 3 or 4 years.
I will have done 3 by the time this airs.
Wow.
3 more.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing
Jeez.
3 more this weekend?
Yeah.
You're doing 3 escape rooms this weekend.
In one night.
That's
With who?
so ridiculous.
Pat and his mom.
Oh, wow. So you guys are going you guys had so much fun at the one we did in December or January. You wanted to do 3 more?
We did, actually, Pat and I did 2 after that.
Just for fun? Just you two?
Yeah.
You guys just gone to fucking escape room kick?
Yeah.
You didn't tell your boy here? I would have loved to have gone.
Which boy?
Jesus Christ.
Either of
Ted,
us.
You didn't say
You didn't date
anything.
either of us?
Mm-hmm. He just whimpered.
Oh my god. I have never
Did you hear it?
That's
I heard it. Did you hear it?
a good idea.
Did you guys at home just hear that whimper?
Oh my goodness, Ted. Ted, it's okay.
Do you want to go to a escape
No,
room?
no, Ted. You
This-
have a great weekend. You go in the escape rooms.
Sure.
Yes,
Okay.
Ted. Don't leave your shirt on. Please don't
Okay.
take your shirt off. You're
Okay.
fine. Oh my god.
I would like to see, basically, jumping off of escape rooms, I would love if video games were pushed more in a direction where they started to blur the lines between, and I know this is dangerous, between reality and fantasy more.
Sure.
I guess what I'm describing is more of an augmented reality.
Yeah.
Did you see
Ooh, that's a big word.
Black Mirror?
Yes, I have.
I've seen all of them.
Okay.
Oh, are you talking about the episode with the VR game where the guy has to
I am.
Yeah.
Did you know I went to high school with him?
No way, you did?
He was in my class. Me and Wyatt Russell. Yeah.
No shit.
He's a good guy. Good
Yeah.
guy. And now I just saw the other weekend, Everybody Wants Some from Linklater.
Yeah.
He's in that. And I saw his bare ass. And I'm like, well, there's Wyatt's bare ass. But I guess what I'm talking about is that. And not specifically with the themes of, spoilers for Black Mirror, the themes of, like, you can't tell reality from fantasy.
Yeah.
But still blending them. I think it would be incredible. Imagine putting on a pair of glasses or something. I'm describing virtual reality. Imagine stepping into a holodeck, for lack of a better phrase.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes is the size of like this room maybe, but due to holograms and shit, it convinces you that you're outside or in a field for all I care.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then anything can happen there. And I think that'd be incredible. Of course, there'd be a safe word like pineapple, and you could stop if you get, afraid or freaked out or too full of adrenaline. But I think that would be an excellent place for games to eventually end up.
Have you used PSVR or Oculus or Vive?
Yes, some friends of mine work at a company where they make VR games.
That's right. We met your friend. I believe it was at Evo. We met him.
Probably, yeah. Harold
yeah.
and Hans.
Yeah.
They work over at Grab Games, and I think their first big game, Knockout League, is coming out soon. It was
Cool.
a VR boxing game, which is like, it's like playing Punch Out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but I would love to see that go there gameplay wise, like blurring reality and fantasy even more. Not so much as a playable movie, but blurring reality and fantasy, which is kind of like where my last thing I wanted to say about not last thing, but the next thing I want to say about it is, I would love to see story get better in games all around.
Yeah.
And like a lot of like I've heard from a couple people like, well, Brett doesn't really like story. I'm like, whoa, like,
Whoa, no, it's the exact opposite.
yeah, I care a lot about it. It's one of the few things I do care about. And the reason I don't really care about stories in games is because they're just usually shite to me.
I got ridiculed pretty hard
How so?
in comments for UMVC3 because we said there was no story, even though there was a comic book that dictated everything. And to my response to that is, there's not meant to be a full fleshed out story for UMVC3. If there was, there'd be a story mode, not an arcade mode.
Yeah, we never said that there was a story. We said that there was barely any story.
Yeah.
And
if you're saying like, look, the comic book, I'm like, you mean that?
A story.
You mean that 10-page thing? Like that? That's it? You know?
But I guess my comment on that overall is like, not having a story isn't a bad thing.
True.
If we don't need to know why Mario and Sonic are fighting in Smash Bros. We don't we don't need a story, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to acknowledge there is no story there. Like as gamers, as critics, as
Critiques.
Critiques.
What do you call a French critic?
Hopefully that didn't make too much noise.
A critique.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
You know,
Ted is trying to touch my finger. Just do it.
Just go ahead and
do
do
it.
it. Just fucking get over it, Ted.
There you go.
God damn it. Okay.
Why'd you have to do it all weird?
Ted,
better than I thought
stop!
it would be.
God damn it, Ted. Anyways,
It's nice.
Yeah, you have to
and
acknowledge
you guys
that-
wonder why we're mean to Ted.
I saw,
Look at that fucking face.
I saw a comment.
Look at that. Look at that
I
face.
saw a comment somewhere that made me laugh so hard because the joke just went right over somebody's head. Or maybe it didn't, which is even funnier when they were like, how can they treat Ted so bad?
We treat Ted poorly because Ted wants to be treated poorly.
Well, I don't know about that. But he just admitted.
you just said
Have you ever been like super complimented and you're like, I have nowhere to go with that. I have no response. Like, you just say thank you and it's over.
Ted would rather be stepped on and be like, thank you, sir. May I have another?
But yeah, if someone's like mean to you, you're like, no, you're that,
I've never heard you say that.
and you just like spin it into. You
I've
could
never-
spin it into a whole another thing.
We're not mean to Ted in real life. It is a bit.
It is a joke. It is a joke that sometimes becomes real because Ted is just too funny.
Everyone,
He's the Andy Kaufman of The Office.
And,
And that's saying a lot.
we did a bit in one episode of The Completionist where like someone hit Ted once and I'm like, that's funny. And I was like, let's do it again. And we just kept doing it. It's a bit. And I hope everybody out there understands that. It's just a bit.
That doesn't mean you guys can be mean to Ted. Only we can.
You know what I'm reminded of? Do you remember? Early episodes of Power Rangers used to have, after the episodes, right before the credits, little 1 minute behind the scenes things where they would teach you like about nutrition.
Yeah,
or
like
about
how to-
whatever.
like
It was like G.I. Joe, now,
Yeah.
now you know moments.
yeah.
Remember, one of them involved Bulk and Skull, but it wasn't them. It was their actors.
Mm-hmm.
And they were hanging out with a kid. And he was like, wow, I can't believe I get to be here on set. And they were like, yeah. The actor, what are their names? Like Jason Schreier, Narvi, something like that. But the actor that played Skull accidentally spilled something on Bulk. The actor that played Bulk. And then the little kid's like, whoa, you're going to pound him, right? Right. And then they had this thing of like, whoa. We're actors. You know, that's pretend. I would never hurt him in real life because we're friends. And like, you shouldn't hurt anybody in real life either. Great message. But I remember being an 8-year-old being like, you fucking kidding? Like, you didn't know that this was make-believe, kid? You know? And that's fine because some people don't get it. I understand that. So when I read the comments about like, these fuckers treat Ted so But I'm like, come on, dude.
You guys have to understand that the best part of my day, is when Sam Strippin walks through these doors and him and Ted fight, because
Like physical.
they fight physically. Like Sam, I don't know what Sam does. Sam, I don't know what he does. He comes in and he challenges Ted, and Ted immediately gets excited and challenges him back, and they fight for like 30 seconds, and then they never talk to each other for the rest of the day. It's the best.
What?
It's kind of like
best
the relationship
bit.
between Wolverine and Sabretooth.
What?
Sabretooth will just show up in his life every now and then and beat the shit out of him.
Yesterday morning, I was working on Lego Pirates, which is episode's coming out in a couple of weeks, and Strippin comes in and Ted's like Ted and I are talking, and Sam just comes in and goes, "Ted, what's your job? What do you do here?" And then Ted, instead of having an immediate response for what his job is, just starts listing things that he does when he's in the office. Like, not even his job. Like,
I take out the garbage.
I open the blinds. I organize and
help Jirard with what he needs sometimes if I'm in the room.
So Sam walks out, and then I tell Ted, go you go back and you tell Sam what you do here is your job. And he goes, got it. And so he runs, he grabs Sam, he brings Sam back in my room, and then Sam goes, so Ted tells me you have something to say to me? And I go, no, I don't. I told Ted to stand up for himself. And so Sam and I go, well, what did you say for yourself, Ted? And Ted just, again, starts, I take out the trash. I pull up the blinds.
Oh, Ted.
Clean some dusty surfaces.
This is a bit, but it's also real. That's what's so funny.
It took me a long time to figure out if Ted was a genius or an idiot.
Anyways, back to our topic, innovation.
Oh, right. Story. Narrative in games. I just want them to get better, and I think they can. Mm-hmm. And I think part of that is going to be divorcing themselves from this quest, this crusade of trying to emulate movies.
Yeah.
The less you try and emulate movies in video games, I think the better off we're going to be. Were you saying something, though, Ted?
Oh, yeah. I was... When you were describing augmented reality...
Yeah.
I have been envisioning it, I think, the same, but, like, when you have augmented reality on in Pokemon Go, combined with, like a VR like headset, but it's like see-through. So
yeah.
You can actually see the world.
Yeah, like Google Glass-ish.
I think so.
Yeah, I feel you. And that's what I was thinking of too, but I just went a step further. I was like, yo, no glasses. It's just the world. And you could like flip it on or flip it off. Or maybe it's just a room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think nowadays we have Oculus, which is kind of stationary gaming. We have VR, which is stationary gaming, but Vive is actually interactive in a room. You set up 2 cameras, you have the wands and the headset, and after playing a ton of Oculus and PSVR and Vive, ever since I made my video about the Oculus a couple weeks ago on the TOVG channel, which everyone lovely decided to roast me for.
Nice.
Which, by the way, those games are actually fucking incredible. Robo Recall is fucking sane. It is so goddamn tight.
Yeah, it is.
I cannot stress that enough. Even though they paid us to like play it, like, oh my god, it's fucking cool. I'm not a VR dude. I actually really have always hated VR when I was a kid. Just like not even VR, but 3D in general. You know, just like having to wear glasses, being like kind of pseudo advertised that this is the new trend, and then like it not going through. Like seeing VR come back in such a big way has been incredible. Even like the 3DS with 3D glasses not required 3D has been really cool.
Yeah.
But I think it needless to say, I think we're in a time now where there's so many ways to play games on so many different consoles, on so many different devices that I believe we're not spoiled, but we're definitely much better off than we were when we were kids in terms of the different avenues, right?
Sure, of course.
There's console gamers, there's PC gamers, there's mobile gamers,
there's
arcade gamers, everything. And that's fucking cool. When we were kids, it was like You get your Super Nintendo, maybe your Genesis, and then the arcades at the movie theaters, and that's what it was.
And Game Boy.
And a Game Boy for those who had to go on long trips to the Grand Canyon that didn't want to go, Dad.
Yeah, Dad.
And yeah, Dad. But I think you're right, Brett. I think right now the innovation that needs to happen for me personally as a gamer is story. That to me is always, I feel like there's so many ways to tell a story, and there's so many compelling ways to tell a story, and there's so many ways to not tell a story. And I think that I think people are using storytelling through art to tell stories instead of telling a story.
Whoa, say that again.
Like, okay, prime example, but also not a prime example. Batman vs Superman, right?
Uh-oh, here we go.
Just not a very good story, not a very good movie overall, but it looks really pretty.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Sometimes
it looks pretty. I mean,
sometimes it looks good.
Yeah, and I think like the allure of teaching your audience that this is storytelling through it looking pretty doesn't mean it's a good story.
Whoa. Something pretty, just because something's pretty doesn't mean that it's telling a story.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. That's
But I'm not sure anybody was purporting that.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is that nowadays, whether it be an indie game or a AAA game, I feel like the allure of the game is like, look how beautiful it is.
Sometimes, yeah.
Hey, don't worry about the story. Just look pretty.
Yes. Sometimes.
Story, no, pretty.
But sometimes games are advertised for their narrative as well.
Absolutely.
Actually, we see it a lot more and more nowadays.
Because gamers are getting more aware, I believe. They're really investing themselves.
If you look at the advertisements, most of the time they'll give you like, they kind of give you the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
They give you like teasers for a narrative, but they'll also give you in-game cutscenes most of the time, which are of course the prettiest shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, look how pretty it is, and also there's a mystery. Who killed who? And I don't really care about either. But that is definitely how they're trying to sell things.
We talked about this on a Dark Souls episode, which I don't know if it aired yet, but we're talking about how trailers are like not your jam. Like you don't fall for trailers.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're all trailers, almost all trailers are trying to get you to feel the same emotion, which is excitement.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
And that emotional manipulation is smart on the part of the seller. But it's also important to remember that as soon as you see a trailer for a story, you start constructing the rest of the experience in your mind.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember you look a little confused. Allow me to explain.
No.
Oh, you feel me? Okay.
Yeah.
So
right when you said that immediately, I thought about the Spider-Man Homecoming trailers.
Yes.
I saw those trailers. The first few trailers came out. I was like, great. This is going to be awesome. The most recent one explains the whole story of the film, and I'm like, now I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Even though I want to see it, you just fucking told
Isn't
me
that fucked
everything.
up?
That pisses me off.
I'll still see that one though.
Oh no, of course.
Michael Keaton. I'm like, yo, it's Michael Keaton.
Yeah, well, no, like
He's playing a Birdman again.
Yeah, he is.
A literal Birdman.
He's also playing another fucking comic book character, which is crazy.
Yeah. And that's the thing though, is that like I don't think like I'm really liking the Star Wars stuff that's been coming out recently with Rogue One and Episode 7.
Okay.
But the trailers for those movies don't tell you anything. They tell you nothing about the film.
Yeah.
It's just like really masterfully edited, so it's like mystery, intrigue, recognizable cinematography from the series, a character you don't know, and go see the movie with the date.
Yeah.
Like it keeps it light on the toes and ingestible for anyone,
Yeah, trailers should just show you only just enough.
Here's your homework for everyone at home. Go take your favorite movie that you know inside and out. You know everything about it. Go, like, if you know it by heart, great. If you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it. Then, after you've watched it, go find every single trailer out there.
Okay.
And for that film, whether it be a DVD, VHS, or sizzle reel, international reel, and then tell me which ones you think could have ruined the plot for you had you not known. Because that's fascinating. Because back in the day, you'd have to still piece things together. Nowadays, it's like, yo, this fucking I saw Fate of the Furious. Great.
Yeah, I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie in my life. I remember seeing Fate. That's the latest one, right?
Yeah, Fate of the Furious.
I remember seeing Fate of the Furious, and it's like, yo, Donnie Yen is fucking us up. What are we gonna do? And then later in the trailer, it's like Donnie Yen and Vin Diesel back to back. I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
There's so many trailers like that nowadays, and it's not about showing the whole movie. It is about explicitly showing the results of character arcs and relationships that should be kept under wraps for the film.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, in Fate of the Furious, they do that pretty well.
Okay.
Like, the movies tell you the inciting incident of everything, which sucks to me. It's like, you know, because the whole theme of 8 and all the movies are like, it's all about family. Like, that's the whole, like, family's first. That's the whole thing. Family. And then, like, the Fate of the Furious trailer is about, like, what if family is no longer the thing that we've been talking about in the first 7 movies.
Sure.
And it's like, Toretto's gone rogue. He's against his family.
Right.
And it's like, great. You now ruined half the film by telling us what it's about. And games nowadays are falling into the same kind of thing. They're falling into the same trap of let's use our visuals and our compelling art to sell the game. And it may work, but I think the games that are the most appealing to me is showing the most gameplay.
Yeah, of course.
And letting the viewer decide based on that gameplay if it's worth checking it out. Narratively, narratively games are different from film, and while I respect and appreciate some of those who try to blend them, it takes a certain finesse to do it, and I think that we just haven't figured out how to do it yet. Like, Brett, be honest, if you could take any franchise and turn its story into a compelling of enough tale to then be retold into a film, what would it be?
A game franchise.
A game franchise that you could be like, this story is so good that I'd love to see it on the big screen.
I can't think of any. I can't think of any video game story that I'd be like, this story is that good, I would love to see it on screen.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense to me. Because if a game story is so good, it shouldn't be a film. It should be a game.
Sure.
If a game story can be just thrown up on screen, odds are it's probably not that good in the first place. Immediately what comes to mind is The Last of Us. I remember playing The Last of Us and being like, that wasn't bad. And actually being really impressed with this story. In fact, when I wrote the script, we talked about it.
Yeah.
About how, like, The Last of Us story, people were like, oh, it's amazing. And I played it, I'm like, you know what? It's pretty good. For a video game, it's like
astounding.
It's
pretty good.
It's above it's a cut above the rest.
Sure.
In terms of stories in general, it's like, yeah, I've seen this many times.
Yeah.
It's average. So if you were to put, literally, we made that point. If you were to take Last of Us and throw it on screen, it would go from being a fucking pretty noteworthy video game story to, it was a film.
Yeah.
And that's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
So as far as any video game I'd want to see, yeah, I got nothing, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of my favorite video game stories, and like, if you put that on film, it would lose a lot of what I liked about it.
Sure.
Imagine Gordon Freeman being up on the silver screen, being a fucking mute.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he's not a mute. Well, then the reason I liked that whole Half-Life thing was because, like, the story never made me put down the controller. The story was constantly like, move. The pacing was perfect. And if you had that same pacing in a movie, they'd be like, whoa. You know what I mean? It'd be too much. But for a game, it worked perfectly. Portal. I love the tale in Portal. And it's a very minimalist story, too.
Yeah.
Throw that on screen, people would hate it. You know?
I think Uncharted.
Uncharted.
What
about Uncharted? Because I'm not familiar with the franchise, but you are. So tell me about it.
I think Uncharted is kind of, they try to advertise it as a modern day Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine because it's totally very different than Indiana Jones. It doesn't feel like at all like what Indiana Jones is at all by any means. It just doesn't have the same tone, the same time era. It's very different.
Right.
But the thing about Uncharted that to me would make a bad film is that there's not enough of a cause to have a villain.
Wait.
Like, Like so in films you have an antagonist and a protagonist, correct?
Usually.
Protagonist is trying to get goal, antagonist stops them from getting said goal, and they fight or they
Sometimes.
battle, and I mean, whether it's Nate versus ancient being of like ancient thing to collect, or Nate versus like a general that has a bunch of mercenaries under his belt.
All right.
There isn't really a cause and effect necessary for both characters to collide.
Sure.
So, but the thing that what makes Uncharted compelling is you have a great cast of crew behind Nate. You know, you have Sullivan and you have Elena and
An ensemble.
an ensemble. It's a great ensemble piece. And some of the best moments in the game is just seeing Nathan go, oh my God, this is like the tomb of this person. Oh my God, look at the story unfold. This could have happened years ago. Holy crap. Like, I found this rare thing.
Okay.
And you're kind of like, oh man, that's so cool that in a modern day and age that a man can go spelunking in a tomb and find this really rare thing. And,
Right.
or like, you know, we've known so much about the Egyptians and then we find out all of it's untrue. Like, it's really, really cool.
They weren't Egyptian
They
at
weren't
all.
Egyptian at all. They were aliens. But then you look at it and you're like, well, why Nate? Why now? Is what I keep asking. Why Nate? Why now? Why is he doing this? Like, imagine if Nate was doing what he did a few years ago when there was no villain involved. Like, unless the villain had something over Nate or was manipulating Nate or had something to get him in the situation where he was to make him fight a little bit more, then it would make sense. But the reality is that none of the villains in Uncharted 1, 2, or 3 really have a grip over Nathan and his wants and goals.
I think what you're
I think
describing
it's
is something I like to think of as like an unavoidable circumstance.
Right.
Like the thing that keeps our protagonist locked in the story should be unavoidable.
Right. I mean, it's like The Mummy, right? We all saw The Mummy with Brendan Fraser and O'Connell. You know, that movie starts off like Uncharted, where it's like there are two teams trying to race to Hamunaptra to get the Book of the Dead. That's like that's the thing. Once they open the Book of the Dead, the antagonist that was once there is now gone, and now the mummy is the antagonist. And so then, like, it's like insane combative nature the whole time.
Yeah.
And that inciting incident that leads to the conflict unfolding, as opposed to my version of Uncharted via the Mummy is race to Hamunaptra, get to Hamunaptra, fight for the book. Book actually does nothing. Fight, then race to the next location that is Hamunaptra B. Get to Hamunaptra B. We win the race to Hamunaptra B. Solve a bunch of stuff with Hamunaptra B. We get what we need to do, and then the villain shows up, and then they fight, and then they move on to Hamunaptra C. And it's like that's kind of the structure that Uncharted's been following for a while.
You're saying
It's
the
like
inciting
National
incident
Treasure.
doesn't come early
It's
enough.
more like National Treasure, right? I feel like Uncharted is the video game version of National Treasure, but a lot more on the adventure side than I'm gonna stealing the Declaration of Independence. I know I'm horrible, but
Maybe the second one, I don't know.
what?
Maybe the second National Treasure.
Yeah,
Was that more?
Was it called Book of Secrets?
yeah, the Book of Secrets.
I've never seen either of those fucking movies.
They're a good time for what they are.
I've seen them
Good
too many
popcorn
times.
film.
I don't know why.
What?
Yeah.
A lot of dates.
I think my mom watches them.
A lot
and I'm
of
just
lot
like,
of Reese's cups opened.
oh, no,
I'm sorry, was that too deep?
I don't go on many dates.
Man,
Oh,
Ted,
that's
you
what it
gotta
was.
like.
That's what it was. Did you whimper for yourself?
Guess.
Guys,
what's
if
going
you
on
want to
with me.
date Ted, you want to date a total stranger you don't know. There he is.
I hope you like peanut butter cups, because that's
Got
how
'em,
he'll
baby.
that's how he'll tell you he likes you. Maybe.
Ladies, let us know. Ladies, send your comments in. What are you putting in peanut butter on me? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Putting in peanut butter on you.
I can't imagine Ted dating someone. I don't know
can't
what that
either.
looks like.
I don't know what it is. I feel like hold on.
It's weird.
Ted, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Do you you talk about this maybe off camera, but when you get in relationships, do you get easily controlled by the woman you're dating? And I don't mean that in like a mean to like.
That's what I want.
Do you want someone to tell you what to do?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know.
Do you need me to tell you why you want that?
Sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
Can you tell me how to feel about
Yeah.
that?
Go ahead, Brett.
No, I don't know why. I just wanted to know if that's what he wanted. That's all.
Yeah.
when you're in a relationship,
Mhm.
the times that it does happen,
Yeah.
are you just submissive to what they want all the time? Do you buy them things they want? Do you
I guess
live for
when
them?
the relationship is good, and then when I start like wanting things or like wanting equality, then it like goes south.
So you're saying you put in 100
In some of them, some of my
you,
relationships.
you put in like 150%, and then when you realize you're not getting anything back, you kind of point it out and it falls apart.
Or maybe I get lazy.
Well, look. So I call this the honeymoon phase, right?
Yeah.
Right. You get into that zone
Yeah.
of, oh, we've been together for 3 or 4 months. This relationship's great. You spend all the money in the world. You want to make it right. Everything goes good.
Yeah.
And then you're like 5-6 months in the relationship, and things don't peter out in terms of interest, but they become more stable because you're no longer going any more first dates. You're not going out and doing crazy things together as much. You're stabilizing your relationship so you can focus on your life and mending it together with your relationship. So how long has your longest relationship lasted?
4 months.
4 months is your longest relationship.
Yeah.
So basically when the honeymoon phase kind of comes to an end, your relationship falls
I
apart.
don't know what to do.
Really?
I'm just like,
They never show that part in the movies, so Ted doesn't know what to do.
yeah, they always cut out when, like, in scenes they cut off when, like, it would just be awkward. Or, like, okay, well, we had a nice moment. I guess we'll pay for this meal and
You
start heading out.
poor bastard. It's like you don't even know how to be genuine. You poor man.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how to be genuine?
I mean,
know how to be
apparently not,
genuine.
because you're like, yo, what happens after we stop talking? And it's like, well, you stop talking. It's okay. It's okay to have a silence. Are you one of those guys that doesn't like to have awkward silences?
No,
I
think
love
I'm,
silence.
I'm saying, like, films don't like that. Don't like to show it.
Oh, but do you know what to do in
And
the
they,
same
like,
situation?
pretend that it doesn't exist.
Are you basing a lot of your relationships on your ability to watch a movie? Like, are you trying to make a relationship last longer knowing how a movie would pan out in a relationship?
I don't think so.
No. So you date a girl and then I'm fascinated that
I am too.
your relationships don't last more than 4 months.
Yeah. I haven't had many, though.
How many have you had?
Just like, wait.
90. 90.
No, I've had more than 2. 2-ish?
Has it been like 2 serious ones, then a bunch of like messing around
Yeah.
/ not committing stuff?
Yeah.
I
So
see.
that's the worst when
I
you can't get the other person to commit. That's hard
Yeah.
because then you're like, why do I exist in your life?
Yeah. Oh, that one was so, that ish one was so bad because she and my best friend at the time went to a movie without telling me.
With Reese's
Like
cups?
in a relationship, like in that zone of like we're dating.
Yeah. And now they've been together. And
Oh,
it was like my last semester of my senior year of college.
Jesus, who's this? Give us fake names for them.
One was,
Fake name, not real name.
I don't fake name.
Fake
I'm
name.
not good at fake name.
You want to give their real names so we can actually harass them on
No,
a podcast that's seen by
I'll give
10 to
them your name.
15,000. Okay, so you're telling me that your best friend is named Jirard.
Yeah, he was Jirard, and
What was the girl's name?
name was Amanda.
That's just me and my girlfriend's name.
Yeah, so
It
it's
just sounds
perfect.
no, it's not. Ted, you're missing the point of this
He
exercise.
asked Ted to like, just throw out 2 names, and he's like, he did the equivalent of looking around the room and was like, office chair,
and TV
window.
God damn it, Ted. We're moving on to comments. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay, great.
So
Comet Storm.
Comment storm.
Putting on the comments.
Thank you for talking with us about innovation in games. I guess the wrap up is that we'd all like things to we like some VR-ish type stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or AR-ish stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd also like stories to grow up a bit, right?
Yeah.
Here we go. This is a comment from a Finnish Marine.
Oh, shit.
Hey Gerard, Brett, and Ted. Love your podcast. I usually don't listen to podcasts, but there's such a chill vibe with the TOVG podcast that I can't help but be excited when I see a new episode released. So keep up the good work. So off to my comment. At the moment, I am in the Finnish Marines, which is both exciting and tiring. So when I get on vacation, I'm usually really exhausted, and playing video games is the best way for me to relax. So what are your favorite games to play when you just want to relax? Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus.
It's a
Thank you,
good Kermit.
Marcus.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Back in the day, one of my favorite relaxation games. I would play it while like being on the phone with people because that's how old I was at the time, like teenage. So you just talk on the phone for hours for no reason.
Yeah.
Was Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And so you just swing around the whole city, and the swing physics in that game were fucking immaculate. So I would just like not even think. It was just muscle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just swing around that city for hours and hours, relaxing. Spider-Man 2.
For me, it's Donkey Kong Country 2. I just loved rolling around, getting DK coins, doing it quick, doing it good, getting all the bonus levels. I mean, you all saw my Let's Play of Ellen Beard Bros. I'm a killer machine. You can't stop me.
No, we can't.
I can stop you.
Ted, what's your
You sure about that, Ted?
What's your game, Ted?
Yeah, I'll stop you.
Moving on to the next comment.
You're not even gonna let Ted answer?
Why would I? He just tried to stop me, so I'm stopping him.
All right.
Well, I guess right now for me it's Zelda.
Breath of the Wild.
Do you relax while you play that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I play like right before bed.
I feel you.
It's so nice. Just nice.
Have you beaten it yet?
Simple
You've already
music.
beaten it, right?
No, I haven't beat it.
Man, I really want to
haven't
get
beat
my
it.
hands on
You
that
haven't.
game.
Haven't.
You should beat it before it gets ruined for you.
I want to finish the shrines.
I feel you.
Gotcha.
I want to play that fucking game, dude.
It's so chill
All right. Next
and beautiful.
Next comment. This comment is titled I Don't Know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I've been following the Completionist and the other channels since you completed God of War 2, so about a year now. 2 years, I think. Thank you. Jirard, I want you to know that you have helped me get through some many bad times over the last year, and I want to thank you so much.
Aw.
Brett, your laugh is great, and I've only recently started watching Super Couch Fighters, but I'm really enjoying what I've watched so far.
All right.
Keep it up, man. And Ted, your Ted, thumbs up emoji.
Oh, Ted.
Anyway, time for questions. I have quite a few.
Oh boy.
Number one, there's a lot of disagreements and stuff about sexual things in video games and how games can show people getting ripped apart, like in Mortal Kombat, but can't show boobs without being called controversial.
Right.
My question is, what was your first experience with sexual content in a video game, and what is your opinion on the kind of content in video games? That's the first question.
Thing. Well, okay, first sexy thing in a game.
I think for me, it was the allure of trying to figure out whether or not the Tomb Raider code was correct. That was me being like, are there codes? I want to see it. I'm young. I want to see
Okay,
the
but there
boobs.
wasn't. So what
But
was
there
the
wasn't.
first sexy thing in a game you did come across?
I don't know. Because you don't really see. I think, like, it wasn't until I was. Oh, you know what it was? I got it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Diablo 2 and Dario. You saw everything.
What, really?
The first major boss of Act 1 in Tristram. Or not Tristram. Whatever the old Tristram was. I think it's not New Tristram, but the equivalent to Tristram in Diablo 2. You got to the. You fought him, and, like. And Dario was just a big ass demon woman with big boobies.
Big ass demon boobies.
Yeah.
Big boobies.
I remember.
I was like 12, and I was like, yeah, they move when I hit them.
I don't know if it was the first sexy thing I came across in the game.
I was 12, guys. Come on.
But I remember probably something in like GTA 3. Could you pick up prostitutes in GTA 3?
Yeah, you could.
So something around then, and maybe even like the opening of the first God of War, where it's like Kratos and the two ladies in the bed,
Yeah.
and they made a mini game around it. That was basically
That's
just
right.
mashing circle.
Red
Red orbs, red orbs.
Oh!
Oh, it's that. So I guess that rolls.
Red orbs.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I got
Ted,
you.
do you remember?
Yes. Which one is the Final Fantasy with Vaughn?
Vaughn from Dalmasca?
Yeah.
That's going to be Final Fantasy 12. That's coming out in July.
Final Fantasy 12.
Mm-hmm.
The bunny character.
Was she sexual? Did she have sex in that game?
No. But she had like a butt, and like it was like the first time I was like, whoa.
Oh, so we're
Holy
talking
crap.
about the first time Ted got woke up.
Yeah.
Where Ted was like, I like furry things.
I like
I think, Ted, you like
Her-
furries.
her butt.
I think you like those half and half anthropomorphs.
Number 2.
Wait. Didn't
ahead.
he also ask how we feel about the sexy stuff in games?
Yeah, I guess what's our opinion on that kind of content? I think if it makes sense, it's fine. but I don't need to see it.
Yeah, it's usually pretty
not
gratuitous.
important. Yeah, I think it's not. Like I don't need to see it.
We just talked about how games still have a long way to go as far as maturity goes.
Absolutely.
And this is like a great example of that. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
did I say? GTA Prostitutes. GTA Prostitutes is like, it doesn't do anything. It's just gratuitous. I think it's funny because that game is just one big satire.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it there. The God of War thing, though, is just classless. Like, who cares? It's not even fun.
Well, do you remember God of War 3? The big uproar about it.
What was that?
There was I forget what it was. I think it was a American History X reference, for a trophy.
What was the reference?
I think it was like Bite the Curb or something like that.
Oh, no!
And it was, yeah, and people got pissed off, so they patched out the trophy name.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Fucking that movie, dude.
Yeah.
Watch out. There's nothing wrong with sex, though. And sex can be in games. Sex should be in games.
Yeah.
If it warrants it. The problem is that in order for sex to be good in a game, you have to like care about the characters. In order for us to care about the characters, the story has to be good, and we're not there yet. So maybe hold off on that.
how long do you think we need to be with the character plot-wise to let relationships like that unfold naturally?
It doesn't matter for length. It could be in the first 5 minutes of the game, but you have to care. It has to make sense within the story. It has to have a purpose.
I wish you knew Tommy Wiseau.
I mean, I know of him.
I just wish that like you could have told him that when he made the room. 'Cause
I do not.
I did not.
Yo, Jirard.
I did not hit her.
I did not.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Do that laugh. Fuck, you're too good at that. It's so open and dry and gross.
Come on, cheap, 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 cheap.
You're my favorite customer.
You're my favorite customer.
Bye-bye,
hi,
doggy. All right, let's see. What's the next question?
Next question. Brett, I have not played many fighting games except Smash Bros. and a bit of Street Fighter V when I was at a friend's house.
Tight.
What games would you recommend to someone who has barely played a fighting game in their life?
Street Fighter V, Dive Kick, Guilty Gear, because Guilty Gear's tutorial system is unmatched. That game is like, never played a fighting game? Sit the fuck down. We're doing this.
We got you.
Yeah. Guilty Gear for the tutorial, Street Fighter V for its transparency, and Dive Kick for its simplicity.
Sure. Third question. Quite a random one. If you were completely free from doing YouTube for an entire year, all videos were already completed for that year, how would you spend your time, if anywhere? Where would you go? Thank you, and I wish all of you the best for the games ahead. Zin.
So you had a free year.
Thank you, Zen.
A free year.
I'd still be here. There's still too much work to do. You know, unfortunately. That just
If we were a year ahead, what would you do?
Me personally, I would focus on if we were a year ahead, I would focus all of my time on building out more things for this company for us to work on creatively. Whether that means funding a film for Brett to make,
Ooh.
whether that's doing Big Bad Bosses #2,
Ooh.
whether that's doing a YouTube Brett show or a series, or shooting, or really getting back to my filmmaker roots, because I haven't, making The Completionist has put me in a little bit of a confinement creatively. You know, we can kind of create and make fun things within the show and film like on a weekly schedule, but we don't get to do, the fun aspects of making larger and grander scaled projects. And that to me is something I've been wanting to do for a very, very, very long time. And while I make time for those moments, every year we kind of have, as a company, we try and have an initiative. Last year we did the personal channel, which is this. The year before we did Big Bad Bosses. This year I got offered something that I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but basically it could be
a gun.
I got offered a gun, you guys. They gave me a gun. No, they gave me a gun, everyone. I have one now.
Yay!
I'm a real boy. No, possibly working on a series or a movie pitch or something like that. So but that stuff is so far out of reach that we have to be sustainable in the company first, and that's been our big focus this year. There's not going to be any big reveals or big projects this year, but we're trying to focus on making The Completionist and everything else kind of go round.
Yeah.
But once we get that optimized the best we can, then that's kind of the goal, to do that stuff. But and also I want to produce more in terms of like helping people build their channels. Like I don't help Couch Fighters out enough. I don't help the decks out enough like I used to. I want to try and help them build their stuff. And I can't because we're so focused on Beer Bros and Completionist and all the support systems, Patreon and Game Wisp around them, that it's hard to really, grow fun projects.
Sure.
So
Good ideas all around, I think.
yeah.
Next, Kermit.
Next Kermit.
It's Kermit. Just good Kermit.
This one's from Joshua.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
No signature ending, but it's called Stuff in General. Coming off your Adpocalypse episode of your podcast, while I never tried to make money off the internet, I can convincingly see having to take sponsored deals to hold you guys over. Maybe this generation is too spoiled with free media that they don't think about trying to make these videos still cost you money in some form. I may not see the big picture, but I do understand the money has to come from somewhere. As long as you believe in or just like the product, I'm totally okay with you guys getting paid to promote it. I'd also like to share my thoughts on digital versus physical. I'm one of those guys who prefer to buy a hard copy of a game. To me, it's like the gamer equivalent to collecting vinyl albums. I want it in that form and hold it in my collection, unless it's one of those discs that has a Steam key, which brings me to my next subject, digital. Digital, meanwhile, is something I have mulled over and over again since it become more mainstream. I have enough games downloaded on a few consoles to know firsthand the appeal of digital distribution. I can say for certain that the pros outweigh the cons. The only things I don't like about digital are sometimes games you paid for with your own money that could one day be rendered unplayable because the service is no longer there. I would have thought this would only affect MMOs, but as it turns out, there are some games that, regardless of not having any online multiplayer support for them, still, for some reason, need the internet to be played. This is why I tend to avoid buying games from Steam or any form of DRM. If I can download it to my hard drive or console and play it offline, I am good to go. MMOs I can be lenient towards, but you should see the debates I spark when I mention why I don't like the fact that 2 numbered sequels to Final Fantasy are MMOs. Again, digital does have its pros that can give a KO to the cons. Example, maybe there was an obscure game for a previous era that now goes for triple the digits on eBay. Look in the digital store and find you can get it for $20. It's a digital win. This also makes it much easier to recommend games from your past that may not have been given the digital treatment and pass to the next generation. Now, if the same can be done for Panzer Dragoon Saga, I'm looking at you, Sega. Well, thank you for reading this. It may have been long, but in case you forgot, I understand you're all in need with money. I like physical better, and digital without DRM is a great alternative to give a chance to give a game a chance or give a second chance to a classic game.
Did he say we're all new with money?
What? No, he's all good.
All good with money. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for your comments, dude.
It's just that wasn't really a question, but that was okay. It was a Kermit.
It was a Kermit.
It was my thoughts on your topic, and those are okay too.
Yeah, well put, dude.
Well put. I think we're still in alignment of everything you just said. So
thank you, Joshua.
This one is from a Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Question.
Hi, Nathaniel.
Hey, Jirard, Brett, and Ted. I recently completed Nier Automata, a new RPG from Square Enix. It was one of the most enjoyable times I had while playing a game for many reasons, including a great voice acting, a compelling story, and brilliant combat. I would go even as far as to say it was my favorite game released on the PS4 so far. However, the one aspect of the game which I found most enjoyable was the soundtrack, as each piece has many layers depending on the situation which you are in. It also has a very deep soundtrack containing around 40 songs, all of which are interesting and consistent to the various environments. This leads on my question as to what are your favorite game soundtracks and why? I'm a big fan of your work, especially TOVG and Beard Bros. Watching whenever a new video is posted. Keep the good work up, Nathaniel. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Thank you.
You got a favorite game soundtrack, Ted?
Like, only nostalgically.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, I guess it'd be a mix between. It would be either Crash Bandicoot 2.
Wow.
Or
what a pull.
Or Donkey Kong Country.
I played Crash 2, but I don't remember much music. I just remember like ba 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 ba. Like it just sounds like that in my head.
Okay.
Do you remember any tracks specifically?
Wait.
That's
a Hairspray?
Oh, that's Hairspray. Yeah.
That also sounds like when I hold you in my arms, you can't
Oh, God.
around.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Were you just singing "I Feel Good" by James Brown?
Yeah. That's why I like Crash. When I hold
You're
you.
thinking of doom ba doo 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 ba doo ba doo boom boom ba doo 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 ba doo ba doo doo boom
We know
boom.
how to really do the cool jack. I can't wait for that insane trilogy.
It's gonna be good.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be good.
You got favorite game soundtracks, Gerard?
I think I've done several videos on this at this point. Top
3. Let's go.
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 6.
All right.
Final Fantasy 7. Secret of Mana.
Ooh.
As of right now.
You
It changes all the
RPG
time.
enthusiast?
I love RPGs.
I guess so.
They're
man.
sick.
I guess so.
I love them.
That's fine.
If you can sit there and just fucking rock out to it, why not?
I feel you.
Those are definitely different than the ones in my top 10 video, but it's because my tastes change as an adult.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, last Kermit, are we all good? What about you, Brett?
I can go on forever. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is a masterpiece. Yo, what if I told you, little kid, that I'd run Michael Jackson here through the Sega offices? He can compose a soundtrack to this fucking game. Oh, like Hydro City, dude. Oh, when you hit that fucking act 2, like. And that's just the breakdown. And then they hit the fucking. And then, yeah, then it rises up. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. Oh my God. I can't. That soundtrack is impeccable. Fuck you, Ted.
Thanks, Ted.
You never played that one?
No.
There's an
need to,
entire
but I
era.
I'm going to give you homework a week. You have to play one retro game a week. That's your goal.
Yeah, you got Al's homework. Ah! Oh, never
can you
stop.
give
You
it
can
to me?
stream it. You can stream it.
That'd be really smart.
I'll pay for the $2 for Sonic 3 and Knuckles on Steam for you.
Guys, go check out Ted and
Oh.
Pat's personal
Oh,
Twitch
I'll
channel,
just-
The Loading Network.
Twitch.tv/The Loading Network. Is it The Loading Network or Loading Network?
Just loading network.
Loading Network. Is
Twitch.tv/Loading
Chris
Network.
joining you guys or no?
He'll probably be I mean, he has his own, but
Yeah, he
he'll-
does.
He'll like be in our house.
If I were you guys, I would just suck him into one.
suck him into
one Twitch thing.
I would suck him into one.
Suck him into one.
I mean, possibly.
Or as Alex says, swallowing up the butt.
Gross.
Gross.
He did say that.
He did
There's
say
an
that.
entire era from Capcom, the Q Sound era, that is all gorgeous.
Yes.
That there's this like the Q Sound is like this board, like this instrument board that they use for all of their arcade games at the time. So we're talking everything from like Street Fighter Alpha through like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Oh my God, the soundtracks to those games, man. Oh my, like X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, and like Street Fighter 3, all of them. Incredible music that's still around today. Like the fact that the Street Fighter characters still bump those same tracks, incredible. Those are probably my top 2, like Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Q Sound, period. Go look up Q Sound. You'll do yourself a favor.
Well, I'm gonna do that.
Fucking Darkstalkers, dude. Oh, love it.
I'm ready.
All right, you got something?
Yeah. This one's from
Sorry.
Keegan.
Hi,
I wonder if
Keegan.
it's the same Keegan from a long time ago. I think it may not. It might be a different Keegan.
Okay.
I had a fan named Keegan who was always just a good dude who sent me games.
Oh.
He sent me Jet Set Radio back in the day.
Nice.
Comets, more like omelets, am I right? That's the name of the subject.
Yeah, more like a
Hey, Jirard, Brett, and Ted. I'm a longtime watcher of the TOVG brand, and by long time, I mean I remember you just were a little over, when you were just a little channel with about 15 videos, and now look how far you've come.
Sounds like the same guy, Gerard.
Yeah, I'm thinking so, but though I knew him before that, though. But we'll see.
Okay.
I'm writing to ask if you ever seriously second-guessed yourself through the years that you've been working under the TOVG name. Whether it be thinking you weren't going to complete a game on time or having more months like April. Oh, like brand deal months, okay. As someone who has been doing a lot of screenwriting, and sometimes I wonder if it'll ever amount to anything, and I'll stop writing for days. Is this a normal thing for you guys or just me? Bonus comment, whoa, how was your day? Thanks for reading the words I typed. Keegan, P.S. You're doing a good job, Ted.
Oh,
Good job, Ted.
thanks, Keegan. Oh,
I think when the big
That's
change
sweetie.
when the big change happened 2 years ago, I think all of us were scared. I thought it was going to be the end, and I think just from there moving into the future, we were scared overall. And I think, and now we obviously we survived it for the most part, but it was stressful and scary, and it's still something that we all kind of bear as our cross as a community here in the office, just because we know how far we've come since then, and we've worked really hard to move through the negative stuff of that, and it's been, and I feel personally responsible because it affected everyone, right? Campbell and Frazier were hit pretty hard, and Santel were hit pretty hard when everything went down, and I know that people were getting channels unsubscribed from and hate mail and comments, and I had someone show up at my house, so like it was very, very, that was probably the most challenging thing that we've had to deal with as a company, but as someone who thought it was never going to end, as someone who thought this was going to be the end of everything before we even started, we kind of rose out of the ashes of the controversy and the conflict, and just kind of not only continue to do our thing, but we improved on it, and we've embraced so much more. You guys weren't here in those days, but to have you here now is something that I never thought would happen.
Yay!
And I'm very proud of everyone's hard work. I like the fact that you and Pat stream. That just goes to show that you guys are trying to build something within the company and on the outside of it, and the fact that Couch Fighters is doing well. I know you don't see the immediate returns on it, Brett, yet, but you're positioning your guys' brand to be able to be something that is a part of the FGC and is aspiring to grow it and be there. And,
well, we hope one day,
And I think you're doing fine. I know that the growth is always the hardest part, and sustainability is even harder. But, those have been the, I'm not like much of a believer in faith or God or anything, but in that moment I was like, if there is someone out there, please look out for us. And
everybody has doubts.
Oh, doubt is the most like infectious thing of the human brain.
I think that's important though. Like, I think it's okay to occasionally, even maybe regularly, stop and ask yourself, am I still doing what I want to do? Am I doing it the right way? I think that's okay, because I think there's a difference between doubting oneself and analyzing oneself. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between saying, I can't do this, and saying, what do I want again?
Yeah.
It's important to do the latter, because, like you said earlier, people change. And going on autopilot is dangerous, because then you might, after 10 years, go like, why the fuck am I here? Why did I want this?
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself occasionally, like, what do I want? How do I want to do it? But doubting yourself is dangerous.
Well, I think luckily for me, I have you guys. I think having such a big support system across the board has been something that has relieved my doubt. And the doubt only comes into play when my team goes, hey, we should look at this. Not because it's doubt of like, what was my decision, but more of, oh, there's something I didn't see, or there's something that I'm worried about, or something that genuinely frightens me. And so when you guys kind of come to me and say, hey, here's a problem, or here's a situation we need to think of, that's when I'm okay with doubt, because then it's like, all right, it's not just me, or maybe I should think about this more regularly. But doubt is like enemy number one. It'll fight you till you're down. I think I did a whole episode on this on the Wednesday show a couple of months ago, and I think the big thing of it was just you have to sometimes make decisions and stick to them regardless of what they are, and just sometimes make a decision against your gut and stick to it, or sometimes go with your gut. And I think it's a very much hit and miss, but with good friends, you'll be A-okay.
Yeah.
Well put.
Yeah.
And thank you for the Kermit.
Yeah.
Keegan. Was that Keegan?
It was Keegan.
Thank you, Keegan.
Guys, that's been it for the podcast.
Yay.
Ted, what's our random fact of the day? Our random awkward fact.
Cows?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a cow or two.
You seen a cow?
Yeah.
Did you know that when corn gets too expensive, cattle farmers will buy like unused Skittle product and put it into the feed? Like Skittles.
Is that real?
Rejects.
Is this real, or is this bullshit?
Skittles bits.
This sounds like bullshit.
No, it's real.
So just a bunch of cows out there getting hopped up on sugar?
Yeah. It's like mixed in with their food.
That's probably why we're going to die as a country. That's terrifying.
Right?
Wow, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Hope you learned something today. This is a great podcast as always. I'm Jirard.
I was Brett.
I was Ted.
And we'll see you guys next week. Actually, no, not next week, because I'll be in Sweden. Or not Sweden, Norway. I'll be in both Sweden and Norway for a little bit, but mostly Norway.
At the same time?
No, Ted, that's impossible.
Oh. But
If you are in Norway, come say hello to me at the panel. I have a Beer Bros panel and a Completionist panel. There will be a Dex panel as well. We'll be selling those Big Bad Boss CDs you saw at the beginning of the episode today. And I'll be making a little vlog here on the channel in place of the podcast. So you'll see me in Norway making fun little video bits. Thanks, Ted. That's a great promotion.
Visual aid.
Thank you. All right, guys. Till next time. Bye.
Thank you.